I do like to do contrasting types of cards. So this one, compared to my last card, is so different, and I hope it appeals to different people. So here is just a lovely little aperture card. I've got some hints and tips on how to get the shape you want from your dies if you don't have the perfect size or shape. Really quick and simple. We're always thinking about batch making when we're making Christmas cards, and I think this one is perfect for batch making. It's really quick and easy to put together, takes minimal supplies. Yeah, really love how it looks, and I'm going to show you now how I made it. At the time of putting this card together, I think I might get through 3 more projects in November, before the end of November, and then we'll finish off with the Christmas ones. So I thought, let's have a go at some really quick, simple Christmas cards, because if you look back on my last project that I put up, it was my gorgeous blue and silver one, really ornate OTT. So now we're going to go really simple for the last 3 projects and really tone it down, keep it clean and simple, but make them quick and easy to put together. So this is where I'm coming from. So I've got a card base that is, oops, I've got a bit of ink on it. I've just dropped an ink pad on here, but hopefully it's not going to be too noticeable. 5 1/4 by 6 inches. So that's my card. It's quite small. And onto there, I put some gold and some white as well. Now, I have got myself a piece of patterned paper. I don't want that side. I want this side that's a bit plainer. And that is 4 1/2 by 5 1/4. So just a little bit, about 3/4 of an inch shorter. If I put this up to the corner so that you can see, come on, can't pick it up. There you go. There's about a 3/4 of an inch difference between those. Now I need to cut an aperture into there, and I'm going to show you how I do that. And I've written 3/4 of an inch because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a 3/4 of an inch border all the way around. I like 3/4 of an inch. I use it when I'm gutting my card as well. So I've got a topper that's 2 1/4 by 3 inches, and I made it using these deckled edge dies. Now you'll see that it's not the same size. This die was too long. I didn't want it this long, and I'm going to show you now how I got it to this size. So let's do that bit first. So I've got a piece of white card, and I'm going to pop this on to here. Don't worry that the dies run off the edge. That's really not a problem, because we're going to cut it down anyway. I'm just going to trim it down because I'm going to put it into my mini die cutting machine. So let's cut this first. There we go. Now I need to do the top one first and then the gold one second, and it will make sense in a minute. So cut that one first, and you see I've already run off the edge of my card, but that's fine because I'm going to cut it down. And then what I need to do is I measured it. I wanted it a little bit shorter, so all I did was I moved there to that one. So I then just found the nearest place that it clicked into. There, I can feel it clicking in. Is that the right size, or can I go up one more? There, that's clicked into there. So I've got it to click back into all those decals, and now when I cut it, those won't cut, but that will cut the bottom. And I find rectangle dies really hard to find the right size. I don't like a lot of the dimensions. For me, they're often too thin and long. When I'm doing things like that, I often don't go all the way through, just in case your die isn't quite in the right place. Just reduce what you're cutting it by. So there you go. You can see it's actually gone perfectly around that size. So that's the same size as that one. Yep, and that's what we're going to have as our topper. Now I need to do a gold matte layer, and I'm going to do that exactly the same way. I'm going to put it through here. Let's just do there. Where did I just put that piece of tape? I must have dropped it. Put that onto here. Let's cut that, and then we need to make it into the perfect mat. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Around there. So don't forget, you can use your dies to cut in different ways. You don't have to use the die the size they've been designed to be if you don't want to. So what I can do, get rid of that. This is my topper. So I'm going to put it there where it sits right. I can even put a piece of tape on. just to hold it so I can see where to put this bottom one. So I can now line this up. So I've got the same, so I just need that to click back into place. I think it's going to click in place just there. I can click that into place. I'm going to just actually lift out the white. There we go, because I don't need that on there. Now it's trying to move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it's in place. There you go. I can feel that click. And then I'm going to pop the tape on there. It's mirror card. It won't take off the covering or anything like that. So now I've got the width of this die, because if I'd have gone for one that was the right length, it would have been too narrow. So now I've got the width of this die that's the right width, but I've got the length that I wanted. Why did I go all the way through? I don't know why I went all the way through there after saying I wouldn't normally. But there you go. You can see, look. So now we've got the perfect mat and layer. They still fit perfectly, but they're my own proportions to make it work. There we are. I just wanted to show you that you can adjust dies to work for you. So before I go any further with that, I'm going to pop a sentiment on here. I've just put Happy Christmas. Is that the one I did for this one? Yeah. So I'm going to pop it onto just a mat. Got that. So I just want to use Memento, which is just a nice, good, clear ink. And then I'm just going to pop that. If you don't feel happy doing this freehand, just get your stamping platform out. It'll be fine. Or something like your rocker block or anything like that. But look at that. Beautiful. That has stamped gorgeous. So I need to put some decoration on there. And the decoration I'm going to put on there is, I thought I would use this gorgeous, it's Christmas bells. Now we're going to keep this, as I just said to you, this is going to be so simple. We're going to not go complicated. We're not even going to colour this in at all. We're just going to use it in black and white. We're going to keep this really minimalist. So pop that onto here and then stamp it on here. There, look at that. Isn't that lovely? And then I'm just going to cut that out. Move that out of the way. I won't speak. I'll speed up the video so that you can see how I cut this out, even with my larger scissors. There we go. And that's just cut that out of there. Did I miss? Oh, I was just going to go into there. I just missed that little bit. It was easier to come back in and do that bit. I knew there was one I'd done. Right, so that is going to go onto here. But I thought just regular black and white on there wouldn't look so good. So I found myself a metallic silver ink. And I'm just going to blend onto the card. So get a little bit of ink on a blending brush. This is going to sit around here. Now I will keep putting this back in. So around here. So I'm going to go from the middle. So I always will keep going back to that centre point to start my blending, because then you won't be able to see the blending point. So I'm just going to keep going back to there, where don't worry about it. So all we're trying to do is just to create a little bit of like a shadow or a lift. This would look good in a pale blue, like silver. You know, I've done gold on here, so you could do a gold shadow. It's entirely up to you, but we just keep putting on here. But it's just like when I'm doing my flowers, you always need to take the ink a lot further than you think. Now, pigment inks don't blend very well, but it was the best silver that I had. So it does take quite a bit of work. It's not like a quick thing. If I'd have been doing this with water reactive inks, I'd have blended this by now. I have to really, really work this to get the blend. You can see it doesn't blend overly well, but it's going to create a shadow. So I can you see how when I put that on there, then I just need to come up a little bit. And I really do want it quite fine around the outline, but that's where I don't mind it being darker in the centre, where it's going to be mainly covered. So we can just keep dragging that ink out like that. There we go, just keep dragging it out. There we go. And that's going to go over there. Right, let's have a look. Let's put that back in. Just need a little bit more at the top. Just a little bit more at the top. There we go. Well, I think that's going to be enough now. These are just makeup blending brushes. They're not even crafty ones. They're a fraction of the price off Amazon by having makeup blending brushes rather than craft ones. And that's what I often say, have a look and see what you've got, because very often non-craft branded things can be a lot cheaper. So yeah, they make really good little detailed blending brushes. There we go. I think that should do. I'm going to put that on carefully, and that is going to sit on there like that. Can you see now? And I've just got that little bit of lift behind. So before we put that on, I thought I would put a little bit of twine behind there, so we can do that. Now I have got, no, I can put that onto here, and I can turn that over and put it over here. So I'm just going to use a little bit of red liner. I often use red liner for things like this, because I find it grabs really well. So I am going to put some 3D glue behind the bauble, but I just need to get it in the right place first. So that sits perfectly like that. Make sure it's in the middle. Let's just go there. I think that one is in the middle. And then I can put the red liner across there, so I can take off all this spare, and that's just sort of going to make it hang. We'll put the 3D glue on in a minute, and that can then sit onto here. I can put that on flat, I think. So I'm going to take that red liner off, the backing off, and then I can just get some wet glue on the back of here to hold it down like that, and twiddle that over. Oops, the bubble is doing it. As I said, this is really minimalist card, so let's just put that like that. There we go. Right, I'm just going to leave that now to dry. Just prop that up there whilst I finish off the rest of my cards. So if you remember, for the card base, we've got it to this point where we've got the card base, the gold and the white, and I need to create an app. Now I could just put that on there, but I think it's going to look better if I cut an aperture into there, and I'll show you how I do that, because I haven't got a die, if you remember, that's going to be the right size. So I'm going to bring in my V blade, and I'm going to take it to 3/4 of an inch, which is there. That's that mark. So this line here, because that's an inch, that's 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to line my paper up with there, nice and straight, and then I'm going to take it to 3/4 of an inch on there, to 3/4 of an inch down there, and then I'll turn it round. I might need to go back. I'd rather undercut than overcut. To 3/4 of an inch, and then 3/4 of an inch. I always line that up with there to finish, and then I come down to where is about 3/4 of an inch down here, and then put that back on the 3/4 inch line, and then I can just line those two cuts up, and that should pop out. There we go. And I've now created the perfect aperture to go on my card, and then this will sit in the middle. Doesn't that look lovely? Now I've just got one that I put some foam tape on. That's the only thing that's different with this one. I've just put my foam pads on the back. So let's take the foam pads off there. I've got so many foam pads that need using up, so I thought I'd use the foam pads. Normally you see me use tape, but I've got boxes or packets of foam pads, so why not use them up? And then I can just put a little bit of glue on. I've not got my PVA one out because I just hadn't got it to hand. So that's just going to help me. Move that out of the way. And like I said, this is the reverse of a traditional paper pad. And I quite liked it because it had the gold on as well. So it matched the gold that I was putting on. And then I just need some foam pads on the back of there. I found these are slightly different size ones, but they're the same height. And that was what was important. They needed to be the same height. They didn't need to be the same sort of shape, as long as everything ends up at the same height. So hopefully that will happen with these. And then I can, oops, that one's flipped over. Told you they're getting old. They're losing a bit of their stick. Oops, see, look, coming straight off. There we go. And then we can put that into our aperture. And I think that looks so much better for being in an aperture rather than raised onto the front of the card. So I need some 3D glue. I should have tested that I could get this out today before I started. Let's try putting it on the back. Oh, I was going to take this off as well. There we go. See if I can get the 3D glue out. Nope. There you go, look, it's got a little bung in it. That's what happens when you leave it overnight. You can usually get that out. And that will then go on the back of there. Nice big blob of glue. I'm going to grab some tweezers because I know what my hands are like. And then I can just turn that over. And put it on there. Now, I did do a lovely gold bow. Question is, do I want the bow? Because it's got the holly there. Does it want the bow on here? Oh, that will work, wouldn't it? It would work there. Yes, let's put it there. So let's, because I haven't got my hot glue gun on, I'm just going to get a little bit of 3D glue, which is the front, which is the back of the bow when I've tied it. I think that's the front. So we can put that onto here. Now for me, this is just a tad too simple. So I was just having a clear out. I was getting out some old demo kits and clearing them out. And I came across some Aurora Borealis gems that were in a demo pack that I'd got from a demo that I never used. Let's just move that one a little bit. You know me, I don't like them in a straight line. That's a straight line there, Corinne. So I just move them around, just using the smallest ones. Just keep moving them round. See if I can get a couple more in. Let's take the glue off. Put the glue just there. That works. And one more along the top. There we go. There we go. Now, could put a couple onto here as well, but I'm not going to. That is it. Really, really simple. Black and white with that pop of colour around the outside, but really, really quick. Quite a minimalist card. Have I lost a gem off there? Did I put one down there? No, I couldn't have done. Really quite minimalist. Lovely card. but you know, really simple, really quick. If you wanted to, you could colour this in, but I wanted that sort of vintage black and white look. So yeah, I spent a long time trying to look in through my stamps to work out which one was going to give me the best effect, and that was one that I liked. There you go. What do you think? I really like that. I think that's really, really pretty. I hope you do too. I'm going to leave you there. 1 down, 2 to go. Not so many Christmas ones left, and what we're going to be doing in December, who knows. As always, I will link to another video or a playlist on the left, and I will link to my subscribe button on the right. I am so close to 7,000 subscribers. I mean, I'm just numbers, single numbers away. So anybody that can subscribe, that would be fantastic. Thank you very much. I really, really do appreciate it. And yeah, wouldn't it be fantastic if I went into 2026 with 7,000 subscribers? Would make my day. So if you are able to, then please do. As always, there'll be links to all the Amazon bits and pieces that I buy, yeah, and also my buy me a coffee page link is down in the description as well. So anything that you can contribute towards either of those is fantastic. So I will leave you there, because I know we're all very busy in the run up to Christmas. I know I certainly am. There's lots and lots of exciting things on the horizon, and I can't wait to be able to share them all with you. But until my next video, thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing your crafty makes with me, and for engaging on this post. Leave me a little comment. Is it too simple? Is this the sort of style that you like? Did you find that tip handy about using how to cut your dies that way? I hope you liked it. I'm going to disappear, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. So until then, bye for now.